Hello, my little weirdos. Uh, I want to talk to everybody not in or from the United States of America, uh, which is probably a little atypical. Usually, you want to address those in your own country, but sorry, I got cough. Um, I want to talk to everybody that's not in the country, and we'll narrow it down just a little bit. Anybody who does not live in America and is not a MAGA sympathizer or Nazi sympathizer, because they're basically the same thing. I know a lot of you. I'm in the half of America, and no matter what you heard, he's claiming 75%. He did not get a mandate. He did not get a landslide. Okay, I live here, and I work at the polling places during elections. He barely got by. I mean, there was a large number, but when you're looking at percentage, and considering that he swept the swing states, he did not win by a huge margin at all. I am the part of the percentage, so we'll just say half, okay? We'll give him that. That did not vote for him and did never, ever vote for him. I spoke against him before he went into politics. But the whole Central Five, okay, I have disagreed even on the things that he agreed with me back then on. Like when he thought abortion should, be available nationwide, but doesn't mean it has to be, forced. Even then, his reasoning behind it, it was always kind of like listening to him. It would be like, I'd find myself doing, while I'm watching the interviews, just, you're saying the right result, but how you got there and why is, questionable. Okay, so you're feeling me, right? Well, we need a lot of help. We need to slap these people, especially the ones that are teetering or maybe just recently, like only just this last time voted for him, especially those. Maybe the ones that they're the out because most of their family is, on the progressive liberal side, and against neo-Nazi sympathy laden people in a cult. And you're going, yeah, get on with it, pink-haired lady. I'm just trying to lay down my reasoning for when I ask, we need you to back us up, the other half up, and tell them, y'all need to start listening, because you don't listen to your fellow Americans who sat there. We watched you guys. Let them know we've watched you for years. We've watched America. Half of you guys are telling the other half all this stuff, and you guys didn't listen. And maybe you should listen to some of those people that you haven't been listening to, because you said that the last administration was a mess. And honestly, maybe if they hear it from not somebody that's like their neighbor type of deal, because then it's kind of like you're talking. They don't have to admit it to you. They don't have to admit when a non-American is just talking with them. They don't have to tell that person you were right. They just have to say, maybe I wasn't completely correct. But when one of us are talking to them, that's when they have to say you were right, because we were the ones talking about it. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's along the lines of, the reason that came to me was I worked, when I lived in Arizona, for a decade. I worked in the Department of Corrections, in the prisons, the like state prisons, not like the jails. We're talking prisons. I worked for a decade as a corrections officer, and being a woman, even back then, it was a lot more acceptable. But my class for the academy training was like, at that time, it was the biggest class they'd had. Because it's only one sergeant teaching, the 3 months of training of that class, and it's paramilitary. So someone like me who'd never been in the military, it's like, oh, now I got to learn this too. People that had been in the military and then, went for that training, they were used to that. So a lot of us weren't. Most of us weren't. And you had to do the runs every day and timed sit-ups, pull-ups, the whole thing. Push-ups, yada yada, hand strength, both hands, shooting tests, the whole spiel. Basic life support, Heimlich. You have to know all of this shit for infant, child, adult. I mean, it's just on and on. And then you got to learn the laws of that, of your whatever state. It's not just like all, sir, yes, sir. There's like a week or two of physical things. You learn pressure points. You learn basic type of martial arts flips or defense type of things, but they're not martial. They're kind of a combo. And like what military would kind of learn, but at a scale down, if that makes sense, because it's only 3 months for all of it. But I'm telling you this story because when I got through and I graduated, and our first day, that next Monday, when it was our first day on the job of our on-the-job training, there was 5 women in my class of 53. Usually, the instructor is a sergeant or above, and they usually have maybe one assistant for that time, and it's a corrections officer that's out of their normal job, so they can rotate and help teach. You have to apply for it, all that stuff. Well, our class had 3 advisors. They're called advisors, and it was huge. And it was like double what most of the classes were, the 25s to 35 range. We had 53. So when I got my assignment, it was, excuse me, sorry. It was at the super maximum. What's that? Allergies kicking in. Gotta take my allergy meds. There was a lieutenant there that gave us our first talk. They take 3 of us, 5 women, were sitting there. And people were thinking, well, it's 24-hour lockdown, everything's done handcuffed, behind, blah, blah, blah. That is true. 1 second. Sorry. And so the 3 of us went It was called SMU, Special Management Unit. And there was an Irish, what was he, a lieutenant? I think he was a lieutenant. And or lieutenant or captain, I don't remember. Red-headed guy. And he did talk to us first before he assigned us with our different officers to start shadowing them and getting a couple weeks of getting used to being around inmates, and inmates getting kind of sizing the new officers up. And one of the first things he said after the basic, what the unit is, blah blah blah, and what it basically is all the gang heads and often the second in charge, they try to put in that place because it's very restrictive, and trying to, you're not going to stop messages, notes, things being gotten out and in. It's going to happen. It's just you need to try to mitigate as much damage as possible and just don't make it easy for them. Try to stop them when you can at the different areas between here and when them getting it. He got down to it. He said, ladies, I'm going to talk to just you three right now. And this is tying in. He said, you women don't know that you have actually more power here than the men do. And you think because you're the woman, they don't give you as much, but that's not true. And then he looked at the guys and he says, I'm going to tell you something. Whatever yard you're on, if it's like an open or semi-open yard, if there's a fight, even wherever, if there's a fight between two or more inmates, you try to get a woman officer over there as soon as possible, as fast as possible, even if you have to swap, because some of them are divided into different yards on the unit. And they said even if you have to swap out one of your officers, to the other, to get the woman. He said, or if that's not, if maybe a CMA, which is a correctional medical assistant, the nurse or something, can come with, even if it's a guy escort officer, but get her up there. Just somebody that's a female. The reason is, men do peacock with each other, the pissing contest, okay? And young women are going to be laughing, going, ah, and you men are going to go, because it's true, okay? This is a lieutenant, it was a lieutenant telling us this. And the guys were like, the new officers were like, because I'm 5'1", I was obviously thinner, but I was never thin. I always had broad shoulders and high waist and that 5'1" type of thing going on. And I didn't look tough, type of thing. I looked like I was probably easy pickings, I guess. And because I'm a relatively friendly person, they also said they taught you in the academy not to smile, the women, at men, if you're on a men yard, because men just doesn't matter who men, they a lot of them just think, oh, a female smiled at me, she must like me. But they don't think that with men. And even guys that aren't misogynistic, that's just like a wired thing or something, I guess, in guys. It's not your first thought is, oh, she's just being friendly, how nice, because that's what, at least that's what I think. Somebody, doesn't matter what gender they appear as. I just think, oh, that's nice, hi, or they must be having a good day, or they're friendly. I don't think that way, so I have to kind of take it on a guy's word. If he says, guys, do this, well, let me know on that, seriously. But hang with me. And he said, because women, and especially like in cultures like Hispanic cultures, and there's a lot in black families and things like that, where the mother and the sisters, Asian too, you damn better well not disrespect the females. Okay? And that holds true still in prisons and even in the gangs. You don't F with somebody. That's one of the reasons why rape is a rapist and a child molester are two of the most in danger inmates if they find out what you're in for. Part of that, well, children is obvious, but with the rape thing, because that means most of the time, a majority of the time, it's the woman getting being raped. And that is a slap to their mothers, their aunties, their sisters, their cousins, their nieces. You're following me, right? And they just will not stand for it. And if one of their own come into prison and they're found out to be there for either rape or child molestation or trafficking, something like that, they do not. There's a phrase, and I'm not going to say it, but they don't. Well, they do not. They do not take. Let's just say that they do not take that well. Yes, inmates are still humans, and they still have standards, even among murderers. A murderer is not as bad as a rapist or a sexual assault type of person, or a pedophile, or a trafficker or something. They're like even worse, because the way they look at it is murder. You put them out of them here, you're just tormenting them. I mean, in a certain level, it does make sense. I mean, in a certain perspective, I can see how that would make sense. I'm not saying I agree or disagree. I'm just saying I can see why somebody would have that thought process. The way I explained it, the way they explained it to me. They said, so if somebody's I mean, there's even times, maybe if it's not even a fight, like I've had situations where the inmate, he's got somebody passed and he can't go to he's not able to be transported because of his level, or they don't have enough people, whatever, that he can't go to the funeral. And that was before they did virtual stuff too. But he was losing it because we just had gotten mail and to our yard, and it was about 20 minutes or so after mail call, and he just fucking lost it. I was assigned in the control room. And one of the guys came by, told me real fast what happened. He goes, get the fuck out there. I'll tell the sergeant that I swapped it to you. And I was like, okay. And that was years after. That was down when I was finally assigned to the Tucson complex. And I kind of had a laugh as I was getting my shit together to get out there. Because I remembered him. I don't remember his name, but I remember that wavy, really bright ginger hair. And I remember his accent, and I remember him kept looking at the new male officers when he was talking, and the women, the three of us, the more he talked, the more we were like, I'm not weak in here. And we would start looking at the guys too, and the guys were starting to look like, hmm? They were all like, all right, we can take these guys, we can handle this job. And then they're like, they have an advantage. It was interesting because it was all dawning on us in our different perspectives at the same time, and looking back on that's why it made such an impact on me. And us gals talked about it in the parking lot after our first, yeah, we absolutely did, because it was just it just I think it made more of an impact on me, because one of them left after about 3-4 years. The other one, I don't know, I'm not going to say much more, but and it's the same kind of situation. And I'll tell you how it ties in. What I'm asking everybody who is not MAGA and does not live in America to help those of us who live in America and aren't MAGA. It's like also when you can tell your kids 1,000 times, 1,000 different ways, but the same thing, the same concept, and they just don't believe. They don't listen. Somebody, a different adult, tells them one time, and all of a sudden, that's the new mantra. You're like, excuse me? I said the exact same phrase, and you rolled your eyes at me and stomped away. It's the same idea. On videos where and I'm a teeny tiny little channel, there's channels that are bigger than me, but then there's the bigger ones, like the Brian Tyler Cohen type of guys, but back us all up. If you're going to make a video about what's going on here in America, can you put in that it's not just the other us in America against MAGA, but it's like the rest of the world again that thinks the MAGA cult is a cult? Maybe if it's more than just their parents, their fellow countrymen, is what I'm trying to tell you. It might strike a chord in some of the people that, like I said, have families that are mostly not MAGA, or that just recently did it and they really did think grocery prices and stuff, and they just couldn't stand to vote for a woman, but they didn't want to say that. Maybe if you guys mention that stuff and tell them that pretty much the rest of the world agrees with your liberal and your progressive people over there, America. It's not them who's out of step. It's you guys who are out of step. You need to tell them more of you, more often, and more firmly. I'm just beseeching for some help outside of America to pull the rug out and shake them. I mean, sometimes my inclination is you just want to shake them. I mean, it's enough that they get, oh, you shake it out of them. That's shaken baby syndrome if you do it to a baby. That's not good. But that's why I don't do it. But they do act like babies, and they just, I think some of them, they want to say, this is wrong, but they won't have any friends because they feel that we'll be like, oh, well, F you didn't help before, you're only helping now because it's affecting you. Some of us might say that, but we also say, You deserve that. Now, I don't necessarily trust you, and they would have to understand that. But maybe if you can get these things, I'm jumping up and down because I'm just really beseeching you guys. And it would behoove you to help, because it's not just America. And all of Americans, the other half that not only didn't vote for this, but you screamed against it. Loudly made it clear. We're suffering too. But not only that, but your other countries are suffering. The Five Eyes, I don't know if it's going to handle another 4 years of not being able to trust America. We were just getting our trust back. We need your help, guys. It would help you because shit hits the fan already. And we need help. I know you're thinking, oh, those damn Americans, now they want our help. Yeah, but we weren't the half that were put ourselves in this position. So, yeah, those damn Americans want our help to thwart the other half of their Americans. But this isn't just a learning lesson for what your country shouldn't be doing. And what some of them, after his first term, Argentina and a few others, elected somebody just as bombastic and assholery as rapist felon Trump. And they're finding out too. And we did it again. And right now, this is America's Nazi Germany. But you all know Nazi Germany spread far beyond the German borders and affected other countries devastatingly for some time. And I'm not, as the half of America that has been trying to pull the tug of war rope with all my fucking weight I can these last years. I'm just asking to just back us up, and maybe it'll get through. Because I might represent the half that didn't vote for any of this. But we can't do it ourselves because it's so even, we need the tiebreakers. And it's not just my selfish, arrogant American, she wants help because she's going to be affected by it. It's not just that. And it never was for me. I and a lot of us knew if he was able to do what he has threatened, even half of it, it's not just America who's going to suffer. And it's already starting that other countries are being negatively affected, and the individual people involved in each event and incident are absolutely being negatively, and they're from other countries, and it's not this situation. We can make it different than the way it went down back then in Germany, because we're at that torque. We're in the knot right now, right in it, the eye of it. This is where if we can get other countries to start putting pressure on that small faction, that half of this country, and tell them the rest of the world is backing you up, instead of them only hearing us say the rest of the world agrees with us, MAGA. Show them that what we're telling them is again true. You agree with the liberal Democrat or the liberal progressive faction in America, and not the neo-cult Nazi, faction. Does that make sense? And it's not done in an arrogant American fashion. And no, I'm not mocking that, because there are a lot of American tourists that go to other countries, and it's just, oh God, I see the videos, or I see the people, the threads and shit. It's like they complained to the owner of the beach because the sand was hot for their wedding. What the hell? So I know that there's a large, oh, and by the way, a lot of those Americans that we're talking about that are obnoxious in other countries, guess who they probably support? Guess who, what way they lean politically? It's not the altruistic, compassion, sympathy leading party. We'll just put it at that. Unless I could be wrong, but I don't think so. So that's what I'm asking for, guys. An alert request to the world, I guess. Because we need help. We're so evenly numbered between the two that it's very hard, because you know how loud and unjustifiably proud, which just means, when they say it, it just means proud that I'm a criminal, I'm a sexual predator, I'm good being an alcoholic and a drug addict. Just put me in the Department of Interior or Defense, and yeah, I don't believe in I mean, this is fucking insanity. If you have never, and I don't care where you live, if you have never watched the movie Idiocracy, it has Maya Rudolph, it has Luke Wilson, Owen Wilson's bro. He was on that 70s show. After Eric, she was going to, yeah, that was who she was seeing. Watch Idiocracy. I said for a year ago that this is like what they want. When we found about Project 2025, this is like ridiculousness. This is so stupid. The only thing is, the movie Idiocracy is, oh my God, as it went, it never went against races, no trans, no LGBTQ community suppression. All of that was fine. No racism, no bigotry. It didn't fucking matter. It was just a melting pot, but it was also lawless and like all had television people as the cabinet. I'm not joking you. They actually didn't have the racism and the neo-Nazi crap. So as stupid and dumb as shit as they were running the country after so many years of under them, at least they weren't racist and bigoted. And if you ever seen the movie, or if you do, you'll hear that said again by me in your head, and you'll go, that's true. They might have been watering plants with Gatorade. That's how stupid they were. They thought that water was only for the toilet. That's how stupid they are in the movie. And yet even they were not racist and bigoted at all. So I really need your help, you guys. We all need it. And it's not just for the benefit. It would behoove you guys as well. Because you don't need this shit happening. You don't need the people that, the countries that have people being deported back to or whatever, they're not criminals. They're just the crime of being there. They have jobs. And we know that's effing up their lives. And that's effed up. A large part of my complex is Indian folks. Not Native American, Indian folks. And Mexican too. And I mean, is my complex going to be like half empty? I mean, I like these people. They're good people. So, even the immigration shit. A white American born person, and my parents were both born here. I'm safe, but I am a woman. And that doesn't mean the immigration shit doesn't upset me. I see their kids out playing all the time. And they're so well behaved. And it breaks my heart. I mean, are they going to play this shit too with them? So, can you give me a hand? Everybody else in the world? Can you give us a little hint? Because a lot of us, there's just as many of us that aren't loud and inconsiderate or arrogant assholes, okay? There's a lot of us that aren't, too. It's just, you guys don't know that because the ones you only see are the loud and obnoxious assholes because they're loud and obnoxious, so they're noticed. And they don't shut the F up about being loud and obnoxious and wrong. We've tried, the progressive liberals have tried to hold on to decency, at least some decorum in politics. But these last 8 years, it's just, we've had losing this election, we've had the big shock that as many as half of the country are that fucking stupid. I'm sorry, there's no other way to say it. There's no gentle way to say half of this country is stupid enough to believe that shit he tells them. Y'all, the part of America that's not like that, we need you to back us up. We're not asking you to come to our Savior and do it for us. We're just saying back it up and tell them, hey guys, you should be listening to those blue people over there. Because the rest of the world agrees with the blue side, not the red side, guys. Let them know that. Let them know that it isn't us against them. It's them against everybody else. And any of the countries that in the last, since rapist felon Trump had his first term, if any of you are in a country that has since stumbled your way into electing somebody as obnoxious and bombastic and lying as he is, or on the same field, tell me how it's gone down in your country. Yeah, I guess that's it. Like I said, I'm not asking you to do the work for us. I'm just asking, just give those of us that are trying like hell to fight this fire, just give us a little bit of a backing, that's all. subscribe to our channels. So our videos, not just mine, our videos are seen more because public service announcement things, it's already, did you know there's a very big breakout of tuberculosis in Kansas? Yeah, because he stopped that this week as far as the health. We pulled us out of the World Health Organization, told our health departments and stuff they can't be doing that shit, and they don't want us to know that shit's falling apart in different places. They don't want the West Coast to know that the East Coast is, and they don't want the East Coast to know that California fell into the ocean because the Democrat or the Republicans, kicked it in. That's part of the whole thing. They want to be able to control and manipulate the narrative in the mainstreams, media, print and digital, and TV, cable too. They're all bending the knee because they're all scared of him, and it's like, what the fuck? What are you gonna do? Seriously? Because 90% of his sycophants back, they know January 6th what it was. They might not say that out of their mouth now, but they know it, and they did at one point. So a lot of them know damn well they're wrong. So please specify either American Republicans, or American MAGA, and let them know that the people that oppose you in your country, MAGA, we agree with people that you disagree with. The rest of the world agrees with them. You're the wrong one out, America, MAGA, American Republicans. Please help us out. I'm hoping it might make some difference. Like I said, subscribe to our channels. Okay? Help us out. Not everybody's personality is for every kind of viewer. I totally get that. I'm filling a little bit of a niche that others don't reach. That's all I'm asking. Just give us a little bit of backing up, because it's already, and it's just week 1, it's already affected you guys, and I don't want any more countries to already despise and distrust us more than they already do. This is killing me, so I'm gonna go off before I start crying again. Peace out.